Shalom. And I want to start off giving all the praise, honor, and glory into Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Wachach, Chodesh. Double honors to my teachers, the apostles and elders, the great millstone, and salutations to you, Akim, that's out there listening, pushing forward this word, the truth, and sincerity, and your few Akim as well, that's listening with sincerity. I'm the brother Machaya from the camp GMS Montreal, coming back with another lesson. And the Israelites, the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans will live forevermore in the kingdom. Okay, in the kingdom, we will possess immortality, man. All right? Unlike what the group Genesis is saying, you know, how that will not live eternally. Well, that's false, man. Okay? You know, hey, it speaks about once we get delivered, you know, what's it called? Death will be swallowed up in victory. Okay? Yahweh Shai conquered death for us, man. You see what I'm saying? So, of course, once we're delivered and the kingdom is established, we will live forevermore. Okay? Furthermore, part of the second covenant is the laws being instilled in our inward parts, man. Okay? You know, referring to our mind. You know what? Let's get that, man. Hebrews 8 and verse, we'll start at verse 6. Hebrews 8 and verse 6, it says, But now hath he obtained a more excellent ministry, by how much also he is the mediator of a better covenant, which was established upon better promises. Okay? You know, Yahushai, you know, is that mediator of that better covenant, which is the second covenant. Okay? It goes on and says, verse 7, For if that first covenant had been faultless, then should no place have been sought for the second. Yeah, because indeed the first one, you know, we broke that first covenant. Okay? You know what I'm saying? The first covenant, you know, that was brought, you know, through Moses, right? We broke that covenant. We made a vow saying that, you know, we're going to keep all the laws. Whenever Moses read it in the audience, right, sprinkled the blood upon us. What did we say? We said, you know, all that was said we will do. But what? We transgressed it. So indeed, it was faultless. I mean, there was fault. Okay, that's why place was sought out for the second one, which came by Yahweh Shai. Okay, by him going to the cross and shedding his blood for the nation of Israel. All right. It says, verse 8, For finding fault with them, he said, Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day when I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt, because they continued not in my covenant, and I regarded them not, saith the Lord. And we haven't. Okay? You know, Daniel 9 and 11 tells you all that all Israel, you know, transgressed the laws. Okay? Verse 10. For this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith the Lord. I will put my laws in their mind and write them in their hearts, and I will be to them a power, and they shall be to me a people. See, that's the new covenant. That's part of the new covenant, man. You know, and this is gonna take place once we're delivered and changed into those new bodies. Okay, where the law is gonna be inside us. Okay, what does the law breed? The law breeds life. You know, if we were to keep the laws to a T, we wouldn't die. Okay? Because as scriptures say, you know, let's get that. The sting of death is what? Sin. You know, the reason we die is because of sin, man. You know, so if there's no more sin within our nation, of course we will live eternally, man. So what is Genesis saying, man? Tripping. Okay? Uh, there we go. First Corinthians. You know what, man? Share. We might have to read that whole thing, because even you know, from 51 on down, it goes into, you know, us being incorruptible, man. You know what I'm saying? Being perfected, death not reigning over us anymore. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, let's read the whole thing, man, because hey, it goes into it. First Corinthians 15 And verse 51, it says, behold, I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed. In the moment and the twinkling of an eye of the last trumpet, for the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed. Yeah, we're not all gonna sleep, but we will be changed. Changed into what? Those new bodies, like we're going into in Hebrews the 8th chapter. Those laws being inside us. Furthermore, even the book of Ezekiel expounds on it too. The Lord giving us a heart of flesh and taking that heart of stone. Okay? And that last trumpet is why when those missiles, those nuclear missiles, are about to hit ground zero upon America, that's the last trumpet, man. And that's when Yahushua is going to come, crack the skies with the hosts of heaven, and deliver his elect. It'll be changed at the twinkling of an eye, man. It says, verse 53, for this corruptible must put on incorruption, and this mortal must put on immortality. Straight to the point. See what I'm saying? This says what? For this corruptible, which is this flesh, must put on what? Incorruption, which is what? Those new bodies which are perfected. Okay? Scripture saying when Yahushua comes back, just like his body's fashioned, our body's going to be fashioned to the same. You tell me Yahushua is dying, after a certain amount of years, Yahushua is going to die? Niggas tripping. And it says, this mortal must put on immortality. What mortal? This flesh. You know what I'm saying? Sin is not going to have reign over us anymore, man, once the laws are inside us. That's the reason we die, as we're going to go into. Verse 54. So when this corruptible shall have put on incorruption, and this mortal shall have put on immortality, then shall be brought to pass the saying that is written, death is swallowed up in victory. Straight facts. Death is going to be a thing of the past, man. Okay? Well, we're going to get Revelation 21st chapter 2. It goes into that, man. How there's going to be no more death. Niggas tripping. It says, verse 55, O death, where is thy sting? O grave, where is thy victory? There ain't going to be any victory for death anymore. There ain't going to be no more sting of the grave anymore, man. You're not going to hear of an Israelite that, all of a sudden, he got sick. I'm talking about in the kingdom, of course. He got sick. Oh, Yahuwah is sick, man. Pray for the brother. He's going through an illness, man. He's on his deathbed. That's going to be a thing of the past, man. Okay? If Adam didn't sin, the Adamites at that time, which were the sons of Israel, or the sons of God, they would live forever, man. Adam was living forever until what? He sinned. And then death came into the world. Scriptures expound on that, man. It's pretty plain and simple. But guys want to corrupt the doctrine, you know what I'm saying? And heap disciples into themselves and make a name for themselves. And maybe, try to be the top guy. Taking away from the scriptures and adding onto it, man. Tripping. It says, verse 56, the sting of death is sin, and the strength of sin is the law. You see, the sting of death is what? Sin. That's the reason we die, because of sin. That's the reason you get sick. It's because of sin. Okay? If sin wasn't reigning over us, hey, we'll be living forevermore, man. And that's a fact. Okay? But through Yahushua conquering death, now we have access to life forevermore. And that's why death is not going to reign over us anymore. Okay? Let's get that in Revelation, the 21st chapter, and verse 4. It says, and Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow. Let's read that again. Revelation 21:4. And the Most High Yah Ba'ashem Yahushai shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death. No more dying, man. No more death in the kingdom. Okay? Neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things will pass away. Death and sorrow and all the negative emotions and things of that nature is for this side, man. It's for this world. And the kingdom is just going to be life forevermore, man. Just flourishing. Youthfulness, man. You being in your vigor and your strength. The guys are tripping, wanting to corrupt the doctrine, man. See what I'm saying? Come on, bro. It's plain and simple, man. It doesn't get more simpler than this. Okay? Oh, I wanted to get this too in Ecclesiasticus. 19 and 19, to furthermore back up Hebrews about the new covenant with the laws being in the inward parts. Therefore, that would mean that we will live forevermore. Because here, as it says here in Ecclesiasticus 19, in verse 19, and it reads, the knowledge of the commandments of the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushai is the doctrine of life. And they that do things that please him shall receive the fruit of the tree of immortality. You see, the knowledge of the commandments of the Lord is the doctrine of life, man. That's life, not death, life. Okay? And if you do those things that please him, well, you're going to eat of the tree of immortality, man. We're going to get to eat of that. Abaratazah will be of the elect. We're going to get to eat of that, man. And eventually, all Israel will partake in that blessing. Okay? And once they're regenerated back in the kingdom through the loins of the elect, your sons and your daughters, they're going to live forevermore. Yeah. Yo, Jake doesn't understand, man. Let's get this in Isaiah 45 and verse 17. It says, but Israel shall be saved in the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushai with an everlasting salvation. He shall not be ashamed nor confounded, world without end. Okay? Backing up how that all Israel eventually is going to partake in that blessing. Because all Israel is going to be saved with an everlasting salvation, man. And not die. And they're going to partake in that second covenant as well. You see? Your son and your daughters, they're going to live forevermore. But the elect are going to be somewhat the oldest ones, the elders in the kingdom. Okay? Because us, Abaratus, once again, will be of the elect. We're not going to die on this side. And for those that do die on this side, they're going to be resurrected when Yahushua comes back. They're going to be the first ones to resurrect. You see? And live forevermore. Come on, man. It doesn't get as simpler, man. Immortality. Let's read that word immortality in the etymology and close it. No, let's read it immortal. No, not immoral. Immortal. It says deathless, from Latin immortalis, deathless, undying. Of gods. Are we not gods? Scripture say that. Yahushua even quoted that precept in Psalms 82. Does it not say in your scriptures that ye are gods? But what, we're going to die like men because of sin, being in this flesh. You know what I'm saying? Jude furthermore expounds on that, how that the angels which kept not the first estate, but were reserved under the chains of darkness, which is the flesh, that causes us to die. It says imperishable, endless. That's it. Imperishable, endless, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, that's the point, man. That's it, man. That's it. It's plain and simple. Okay? But hey, man, I'm going to close it off there, man. I give you all the praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Wakah, Kadesh. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. Until next time, I'm going to say shalom.